Good morning class 5. Welcome to your online science videos. We have already done 2 videos on revision of food and health, and today we are going to start with preservation of the nutrients of the food. Still now we have done what are nutrients, what are the types of nutrients, and what is called balanced diet, and how to maintain a balanced diet. What we should keep in our diet, and what are the groups and divisions of the balanced diet. Now today we are going to start with preserving the nutrients in the food. Now see, what is the meaning of preservation? Before I start anything, I must explain. Preservation means to preserve it, to keep it in its proper condition. There should be no deterioration, isn't it? So when you are preserving a food, why do we refrigerate a food? When we are refrigerating a food, we are storing it inside so that it can stay in its intact condition, isn't it? Now if we lose that, what will happen? And if we have it, what will happen? We will lose the nutrients. The food will lose its nutrients, and the food will deteriorate its healthy means the food will deteriorate its condition. It will be rotten, and if we eat it, what will happen? The stomach ache, the health problem, different types of problem can occur. Diarrhea can occur, isn't it? Stomach ache, everything can happen. So preservation of food is highly important. So if it is asked that why preservation of food is important, so to keep the food in its intact condition and to preserve its nutrients, preservation of food and its nutrients is very important. Now as I have told you that if we do not keep food in its proper condition, proper way, or we do not put a lid on the pot, then the food can be poisonous, which can cause food poison, and mold can grow on chhata pore jawa. In Bengali we call it chhata pore jawa. So if we do not keep it in its correct condition, mold can grow on the food, and if we eat it, it can cause danger. So preservation of food is having 5 different ways. Dehydration. Hydro means water. So when we are drying the extra water and we are boiling it and keeping it in a hard manner, without any juice or any water, extra water, that is called dehydration. Sweetening means when we are adding sugar to it, or we are keeping something in sugar syrup to prevent it. It's healthy, its health and its nutrients. Next is salting. You know, when we refrigerate the fish or chicken, we put some salt on it so that it can stay in its own condition. Okay, preservation with salt, mixing salt is very good. Canning is another way. Canning means when we are putting food inside the can, we are preserving the food inside the can. Like beans and baked beans and fruits, we are keeping it in its condition. And pickling means adding vinegar or oil. You know, if you add some oil or vinegar to the food and if you preserve it in the refrigerator, then it is going to stay for a longer period of time. Now, see, immediately after healthy eating, our health and our disease is closely related, isn't it? Now, disease, we can divide it into 2 different ways. Germs can enter in our body in 2 different ways. One is infectious disease, another one is non-infectious disease. Now, infectious disease, if we start, you can understand that infectious disease is something which is due to some infection, and it is a communicable disease. Now, what is the meaning of communicable disease? When you are communicating someone with some media, so the disease is becoming media over here. Suppose I am infected, you are getting infection through me, so that is called infectious disease, where infection is occurring from me to you and you are getting infected. Suppose a healthy person is sitting beside you and the infection is slowly spreading to you. It is being given to you. Now, how it is possible? Through contamination, through connection between two. Now, how there are some method or some process through which infection means it can spread from one person to the other. Number one, through eating infected food, that is not only through the human being, but it can cause due to the germs. If we do not preserve food, if we do not store water properly, infection can occur in our body. Okay, now through air, how it is occurring? Suppose an unhealthy person, if he is sneezing or coughing, then that will spread on the air, and if a healthy person will breathe it, the germs will enter easily inside the body. So in this way, through air, the germs can enter. Through insects, now we know that through insects, different types of virus can enter in our body, like dengue, malaria, chikungunya. Nowadays, it is nothing to say that COVID, corona positive, which we are facing nowadays, is a great example of means it is a, though it is a virus, but it is very highly infectious, isn't it? So see, female Anopheles mosquito sucks the blood. Suppose an infected person is lying on the bed unconsciously, the mosquito is biting on his head and he is sucking the blood. After that, again he is sitting on a healthy person's body and he is biting the person. So easily the blood will enter in his body. So in this way, germs can enter through one person to the another with the help of the mosquitoes and fleas. Now another way is direct contact. Now see, direct contact means during this cough and cold or this infectious disease, when it will occur, we have to use separate towels, separate handkerchief, separate utensils, even, isn't it? Nowadays the patients, unfortunately those who are patients in our house, we are keeping them in isolation. Now why we are isolating them from ourselves? Because to keep him healthy as well as ourselves, isn't it? So there's a high possibility of getting infection. So his towel, usable materials, all belongings are being separated. Even cooking is done separately for providing him, isn't it? And he is being isolated in a room. For what? So that they cannot touch everything, and so the infection will not occur to the other person. So that is through direct contact. And finally, through damaged skin. When you are injured, your leg or your hand or any part of your body is injured, there is high possibility of catching infection very fast. The damaged part is very sensitive and it is highly absorb. It will easily absorb the infection outside and it will catch hold of you and you will get the infection. So there are some examples of the how infection can spread from one person to the another, and in next video we are going to read about the prevention of infection, how we can prevent them and what are the way, and next we will discuss about non-infectious disease. Today this much we will do, go through the chapter thoroughly and read the spellings, and next class we will start with prevention of infectious disease. Thank you so much.